that was what you might call a Rapide exit from an Aston Martin. And Rapide, yes, I like that name. One of the best parts about this car, as far as I'm concerned. The name actually harkens back to the 1930s with Lagonda, and of course, Lagonda was bought by Aston Martin, I think in the late 50s. Then you had the Lagonda Rapide, and now you have the Aston Martin Rapide, which is a four-door GT tourer and quite unique in the Aston Martin lineup. Besides a name, the other thing I like is the styling. The Rapide is by no means a small car, but its near perfect proportions and taut lines make it appear more compact than any 5-meter long car has a right to. Some might argue that the signature Aston Martin profile, first seen on the DB7 of 1994, has now had its day. But Ian Cullum's design retains a certain organic grace. The addition of a big, gaping grille gives the S version a healthy dose of on-road presence and helps to set it apart from two-door Astons. We'll get to the doors in a moment, but first we need to set the record straight. Now there's a certain kind of enthusiast, among them a lot of motoring journalists, especially the younger lifestyle segment of the motoring media, who whenever they hear about a V12, they think it's time to sort of start cueing the violins, and they get all whooshy and gooey about, ooh, a V12 charisma. I'm not one of those guys. Give me a V8 any day. However, this is a 6-litre V12 unit, and the interesting thing is it's actually built by Ford in Cologne, back from the days when Aston Martin was owned by Ford. What's more interesting to me is that AMG Mercedes are going to be producing the next engines for Aston Martin, and what chances a nice twin-turbo V8. The V12 engine on paper is pretty powerful. It's rated at 410 kilowatts and something around 600 Newton meters of torque. So that's pretty punchy. However, it does have two modes of operandi, which are electronically programmed into the system. And in the normal mode, the throttle responses are quite lazy, and so is the gearbox. You tend to pull off in a very high ratio. If I have a look now, we'd pulled off in fourth. And that makes for a very mellow, around-town driving experience. And if I had sport mode, it sharpens everything up. There we go. Now, I got all excited a little while ago because the producer of the show, Francois, said we're going to be doing the doors. And I thought, yeah, Jim Morrison. But actually, the door design in this Aston Martin is one of its most interesting aspects. Check out the handle, first of all, which is really cute, and the way that the rear glass retracts as soon as you pull the handle, and in fact enables you to open the door because this very thick glass here is actually part of the location mechanism of the rear door. The glass goes right back up. Now the front door is just as interesting, also has these cute little pull-out handles. And when you open it, it has a particular hinge mechanism called the swan hinge mechanism. What this means is the door actually gains elevation the wider you open it. So it doesn't snag on curves or if you park on a slope, that type of thing. I pretty much like this interior. I mean, apart from the fact it's beautifully trimmed with leather and white stitching and this piano black finish. What I really like is no iDrive or similar systems. No matrix of vital functions that you have to access via a mouse. And, to me that's incredibly distracting. Here you've got a whole lot of little buttons. Yes, it is busy, but for me, totally logical. Once you know where they are, you press this, got here for menu, and this and that, aircon, all the major functions at the reach of a fingertip. The rear seat furnishings are every bit as lavish as those in front. Passengers are held firmly in place by shapely bucket seats and the broad transmission tunnel, while their comfort is catered for by separate air temperature controls. The ambience is at best intimate, at worst claustrophobic, although luggage space is all but irrelevant. not too bad. So what you might ask is the point of a four-seater Gran Turismo coupe with an Aston Martin at that. And quite obvious. The point is that you don't just want to be taking your partner with you. You might have children as well that you want to take with you on a nice country trip. So it's great for the whole family to enjoy a car of this magnitude, because it really is a fast car. 300 kilometers an hour and 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds or thereabouts. So yeah, you would like the kids, especially your young boys, to actually enjoy that kind of sensation. On the other hand, there are a lot of SUVs these days that offer a similar kind of performance, and of course they have all the attributes of ground clearance and even more space. I think that's the biggest threat for this kind of car, and that is that the potent SUVs offered by the likes of Porsche, Mercedes, Land Rover are actually making this kind of car ever so slightly redundant. It isn't bad as a city slicker, and in fact one of the things I enjoyed driving it around downtown Joburg was all the admiration it got. People were just knocked out by the looks. Is it relevant? Well, earlier I said it might be in fact threatened by the likes of Porsche Cayennes, Range Rovers, etc., all the hot SUVs on the market. Of course, the guys from Aston are going to say, hey, people who buy this car already have one of those in the garage. So get it out on a clear sunny day and enjoy the pure fun.